Welcome to the Writing Gals, our very first podcast of 2019. We're super excited about the year to come, and so we've spent time talking about what our goals are and how we're looking forward to getting some big things going this year. We thought we'd spend an evening talking about it with you guys too. So we're going to do a little bit of going back to our roots and talking about some numbers and letting you know what we've all been able to accomplish this year using our strategies and some of the things we've learned, and talk about what we've got going ahead. I forget what Judy decided to call our podcast for tonight, but I'm sure it was a great title. Okay, so let's start with, since Judy's already on screen, Judy, you want to tell us what you've got going on right now?
Yeah, not a lot. I was sick last week, and yeah, um, I've been working on my book, Kissing the Boy Next Door, but I think I'm gonna just scrap the whole thing that I had going on and start new. Maybe use a couple of the scenes, but it'll be fresh in my head and something a little more easy, I hope. So, because I've been having a difficult time getting back into the writing. So that's what I'm doing. I like to restart books a lot and throw away a lot of words. And yeah, you'll hear one of my goals for this next year is to not do that ever again. So we will see. Well, that's what I've been doing.
Well, I'm sure whatever you start over with is going to be awesome. All right, Amy, what have you got going?
Well, I've had a really busy holiday season. My goal for December was to crack Facebook ads and get that working for me, so that when I went into 2019, that my backlist was making me money, and all of the books that I put on it or put in my backlist come 2019 were just on top of that. So I worked really hard. And then after doing that, I was like, I think there's a need for clean romance Facebook ads course. So I was talking to my husband and I was like, I should start a course. And he was like, Amy, no, you do way too much stuff. Are you serious? But then after we chatted about it, he's like, yeah, you have to do this. So I took like a week and a half and put together a Facebook ads course that I had opened and is now closed. Will open again sometime in February, at the end of February. And so I was doing that. And then I've finally gotten back into writing after that's all done. And I'm about 30,000 words into Misunderstanding the Billionaire's Heir, which is part of our Sweetwater High collaborative series that we're all a part of. So that will launch in February. And then I'm also trying to work on one of my series that I'm starting this year. I'm only 2 chapters into that book, though, but just plugging along, trying to get the words down on top of everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah, I know you're just charging into this year, aren't you? Got a lot of pans on the fire already.
Oh, God. Sometimes I'm like, I should not have done that. What am I thinking? But I don't know. I keep thinking if I put the work in now, then at the end, it'll just be this like smooth process that's just, it takes a while for stuff to start up, but then it is and going, and that's all. So that's what I'm hoping.
I'm sure it'll be awesome. All right, Victorine, over to you.
All right. Well, my brain is still on the beach in Belize because our trip was awesome and we had so much fun on our cruise. But I'm trying to get my head back in the game of writing. And as we were waiting in the airport, I was plotting out my next book. And so my next book is going to be young adult. And I think the title, at least the working title right now, is Don't Bet on Love. And it's going to be just young adult high school kids. One of the football players is going to bet with another football player that he can't get a girl to date him or something like that. So I'm plotting all this out, and one of my goals is to try to be better at plotting. So I've been trying really hard to plot this one out more than I normally do so that I can write it fast. So
that sounds like She's All That.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. Back when Freddie Prinze Jr. was like the hot, toddy of the time.
Yes. Awesome.
I love your title too. It's really awesome. Very tropey yet simple. Good. So I am currently writing Saved by the Movie Star, and I have to tell you guys, I'm just totally in love with this story and my characters and the setting. It's just so much fun. I can't wait to get that out. And my kids are still home on Christmas break, and they don't go back until Tuesday next week. And so I've still got a lot of time before I have my days to myself again. But I'm making slow progress, and things are a little crazy. In fact, my 4-year-old's about to come talking to me. Just a minute. She had to show off her Dora nightgown, which is a hand-me-down from both of her sisters.
Oh, that's so
her, so
cute.
she's excited. Okay, so that's all I'm working on right now is doing that, and then trying to get a few other things rolling in my other genres with my Regency and the fantasy that I've committed to release this spring. So that's what I've got going on. And looking at my December sales a little bit, trying to determine how my strategy worked for that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit when I get into my numbers, but who wants to go first with just talking about how this year has been for you as far as growing your business? I should just pick, huh? Okay. Any, mini, money, mo. Judy, we'll just keep things going in the same order.
Okay. So you say how my year has gone with my business growing. So like, are we doing numbers here or what?
Yes,
like
numbers.
number of books or
Give
everything?
Give us the numbers and decimals and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Okay. So last year is when I started publishing, which was 2017. And it was October. And so I only had like 2 months or 3 months, I guess, of publishing for that year. So to give you a comparison, kind of idea of how much I actually published during that time. But so I'd had 2 books published, and I had made, let's see, about $7,500, I think. Okay, so I made $7,500 last year with 2 books. This year I published 5, or I guess last year now that it's 2019. So in 2018 I published 5 books, and so that gave me 7 total out, and I made, let me see, sorry. So $76,000. So it was a little bit better, I guess. So yeah, so I definitely learned to write a lot faster over the last year, and yeah, definitely worked hard to write to market also, and launch a few different ways. And I learned that I didn't like the long pre-order, even though I thought, oh, I give it a try. It didn't work out so great. So that's something I learned from 2018, not to try that again unless I get another idea that it might be fun sometime. But and then I did, and I also learned another important lesson of not to compare my journey with other people's journey, because we're all on a different path. And yes, we all are successful at things in different ways, but it's hard sometimes to see someone doing something that you really want to be able to, get that, and then wonder why it's not happening to you. But then forgetting, oh, but I had this success over here, so I'm still okay, But so I need to remind myself that I have my own journey, and I need to focus on myself, and just reminding myself how much further I have gotten from where I was before. So that's a good lesson for me.
I think it is for all of us. I know that's something I'm trying to incorporate into my mental health as well. My emotional health is just to find joy in my own journey. Yeah. So Amy, are you still doing calculations over there? You ready?
No, I'm good. I can go. I was just trying to think of all the things that I've learned and write them down. So I make sure to to say them. So, okay, 2017 for me was a great year. I published 6 books that year. 2 were not to market. Well, I didn't know how to market 2 of them. 2 of them were my YA fantasy ones. And then 4 of them were my billionaires. And that year in 2017, I'd made $17,896. Then 2018, my goal was to basically write a book a month. I think that's what I started. Like, I remember sitting in my car on the way to Christmas Day up to my family, and I was trying to plot out, okay, what's my year going to look like? And I think I had a book a month, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How am I ever going to do something like that? Well, I ended the year, I wrote 9 full-length books, 4 novellas, and I put out 2 box sets. So let me see here. That is 15. Sorry. I did 15 books total. And so that was pretty busy. I mean, granted, 4 of those books were novellas. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. My family won't stop texting me. 4 of those were novellas. So together, that was probably more like 11 books that I put out. But I feel pretty good about that. And my January to December income ended up being $172,369. So I times 10 my income. Is that right? So definitely rapid releasing, putting out consistently. My biggest month was in December. I made $35,000 last month, but I spent like $19,000 on advertising. But I also put out 3 books in 1 month, and that's where all my advertising money went. So definitely my goal this year is to find that sweet spot between advertising and making income, and not pushing advertising where I'm not getting that profit back. December was my figure all this crap out, Amy, because then you'll have a good 2019. So I'm still learning, but I'm being more intentional with what I'm doing. So I would say on top of that, on releasing and the income I made, I signed with an agent. So that was really exciting to be able to contact an agent, tell them I had something in the works, and have them be okay with signing me. So, you know, I think all of our dreams, like when we first started writing, was that we were going to find an agent, we were going to find a trad publishing house, we were going to get all these places. So that was just a personal, did it help my income? No, but that was like a personal, you know, flag in the ground that I have an agent. You can take me seriously now, which is sad because I probably make more than a lot of traditionally published authors make, but I want that and I'm grateful for it. I opened my own publishing house. I started an ads course. I put out 10 audiobooks, and I taught 2 classes at Midwest. So when I look back at my year, I had an incredible, and then I started the Writing Gals podcast with these lovely ladies. So an incredible first full year of my author journey. And I'm just shocked that I'm here to this point, and I just cannot wait to see what 2019 brings. Things that I learned from 2018 was, 1, it's important not to be Amazon dependent, because if Amazon decides to change, that's your career that you're putting in Amazon's hands. And you know, you have to be kind of careful because we all are solo Amazon people, but finding other ways to get our books visible to people instead of just hoping and praying that Amazon finds us. Because I had 2 books that I put out during Amazon's glitch that just fizzled out and died. And that was really frustrating to me because I was like, I put all this hard work and all these strategies I had in place that had worked before weren't working for me right now. So that was my 1. 2, put my money back into my business to help grow it. I don't think I'd be at the point where I am right now into building my monthly income had I not done that. So, you know, treating this as a business and reinvesting in yourself will only help you grow. And then be intentional with everything that you do. And then I think my biggest like negative was I did lose a little focus on my family. I'm a very driven person. And so I will work as hard as I can, and sometimes to the detriment of ignoring my family. And then my health too. I have never had so much back pain and neck pain in my life until this year of like hunching over my computer and typing like this. So I've learned to, sit in a chair and sit on a wedge and put my computer up and make it so that my body can last for years and years and years to come. So that's my 2018 in a nutshell.
Was I the only one that Amy glitched for when she was saying her yearly income?
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard it.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that the people on the, watching the video could hear it because it glitched for me for some reason. Okay. That's incredible. Victorine, you want to tell us what you got going on? I mean, we already heard that. No, we are on to how was your year, Victorine?
Okay, I am like a total slacker compared to Amy because she like did 100 billion things and I totally did not. But here's what
We're
I
not
did.
comparing. Remember?
That's right. We're not comparing. Okay. I published 4 books, 4 novels. One was a novella. I published 1 nonfiction book and 2 box sets and 1 short story in a collection that actually did super well, better than I thought it would. I made $76,800 from Kindle and over $3,000 from audiobooks and just a handful of dollars from print. Not enough to really add up to anything. The best thing I think I've learned over 2018 was I am taking Amy's course on Facebook ads, and I'm learning how to successfully advertise on Facebook. And I'm super excited because December was my biggest month of the year, and I was $100 shy of $14,000 sold in December. And I did spend some money on Facebook ads. It was about a little less than $4,000 on Facebook ads, but that's $10,000 profit from that. So I'm super excited about learning about Facebook ads from Amy. She has taken many, many courses, and she's giving in her course all the best information from all the things that she's learned. So I'm super excited about that. And let's see. What do I see as far as the changing of the industry? I see things changing in the direction of people. If you want to be really successful in this business, you need to be writing to market and you need to learn advertising. And before, I was just being successful just writing to market. But I think it's becoming more a crowded space. And so you need to learn how to advertise now if you want to up your income to a different level. My goal for 2019 is to outline more and write faster because I think I can do it. I wrote this last book that I wrote in a month, and I did it because I spent more time on my outline and more time visualizing my scenes. And so I knew where I was going and knew where I was headed when I was writing. And so I was able to write that faster. And so that's one of my goals for 2019 is to get better at plotting and planning first, and then I can write faster. I also want to get better at advertising. And another goal of mine is to write more young adult because I've got some great ideas in my head about young adult books. So super excited for that.
Thanks. I'm super excited about it too. All of us are going to be writing a little bit of YA next year. So that'll be super fun. Thank you.
I have to say, Michelle, before you move on, that writing YA was probably the smartest move I made in 2018. And I think a lot of people discredit YA, but I think it's not as bad as people say it is in terms of profitability and stability and keeping your rank high. So moving to YA was probably one of the best because my first book has hands down made me more money than any of my other books. And you would think, well, no, those are adult books. But even the ones that have been out the longest, my YA has definitely made like heads above what other ones have.
Yeah. Which is also, because of your incredible branding on that book. So it may not work out that way for everybody, but it's definitely a thriving marketplace. So, um, so when I was looking at my numbers, I made 11,600 in 2017, and this year I made 46,500. Actually, you know what? I just remembered. Um, it's 48,000 and change because there's a couple of things I didn't add into that, like my audiobooks and the anthology. So, maybe closer to 49,000. Ooh, I almost broke 50. Dang it. So close to breaking that 50K mark. I didn't even know it. I might have been like pushing things to, I don't know.
Maybe the
Okay.
payout will be really good, and it will
Yeah,
happen.
if the December payout is good, maybe I'll hit that 50K mark for the year. That would be awesome. Another fun thing that I was looking at is that December was my biggest month ever. I was super excited because I just wanted to have one $10,000 month this year, and I actually got over that. So I'm at least 11,000. I'm over that. We'll see where the December payout is and where that ends up. But that puts me at the same amount that I made for all of 2017 in 1 month. So for me, that's just brilliant. It was really exciting for me. Um, and let's see here. I wrote 8 stories, published 8 stories in different genres, different lengths. But that was good for me. And most of them were published at the end of the year. So I think I published 5 of those in the last 3 months of the year. So I was starting to really figure out how to get this ship moving, so to speak. Let's see. I also had 2 audiobooks come out, and one of the things that I learned about how I want to work my release schedule going forward is I want to scatter releases across a couple of series. I know that one of our things is like to kind of rapid release in a series, and I think that that works really well for the first couple books in the series. So I'd probably still go ahead and get a series established with the first 3 books. And then after that, go back and revisit them over time. You know, like every few months, every 3 months, be publishing something in an old series. And the reason that works so good is that releasing a new book in that series lifts the whole series. And we're learning a lot about how we want to keep our ranks high on our backlist so that they can continue to earn us money. And I hope to be able to invest a lot more in Facebook advertising. Like I spent about $800 in December that helped to propel me to the bigger number that I got that month. And I know that that's going to be a key player going forward. But I think one easy trick to do is to just continually revitalize the series. So even if it's been 6 months since I've released a new series, I might go ahead and add another book to it because that book will find new readers that will then go on. And every time I've released in a new series, I have seen such a huge lift in ranks for the other books where they've been pulled up from the 20 and 30,000s up to above, like the whole series will be above 5,000 with a new release. So that's going to be one of my big strategies this year is to just manage later books in the series being scattered out a little further apart to keep that lift going. Excuse me. And I also really want to work on branding. I think that my Billionaire series is branded really well, and my Rockstar series is. And that's something that I think I was missing before in my career. And I've seen so many people branding their series and themselves well enough that they have such great recognition across their audience, across the market. People see a cover and immediately know, oh, that's this series, that's this author. And if you're on their favorite list or their automatic buy list, then all they have to do is see that branding and you've made the sale. And so I'm going to just continue to work on figuring out how best to brand new series that I've got coming out. I'm really excited because my last child goes to school in August, and so that will definitely increase my writing time and my ability to concentrate for bigger periods of time during the day. And I think that the biggest thing I really failed at this year in a way that I want to improve on this year is that I let a for love book drag my revenue down, like my overall royalties down really low. And I am still a big proponent of writing for love books, and I'm going to continue to write for love books. I'm just going to try and do a better job of not letting them take over my money making series, my contemporary stuff at this time. Because when I released in fantasy, it was so much work and it took a lot of concentration that I ended up not having a new release for a long time, and I wasn't focused on keeping those books floating. And so my I really feel like if I had managed that better, that I wouldn't have seen such a sharp decline in my royalties for several months, where I got down to making like $1,000 in 1 month, and compared to where I'd been at around 7,000 just a few months before that. That was a sharp decline for me, and I had to work my way back up out of that. And people in our Facebook group saw me lamenting about that at the time. And I did bring my monthly income back up again, but it was quite kind of a hard climb, and I had to put a lot of books out to do it. I'd like to make sure that I don't let everything crash like that again. So that's kind of one of my big goals. And as far as talking about the industry, and I didn't actually ask Judy and Amy this, so I'm not very good, and they can come back and touch base on it if they want to. But I see in the industry that there is such a growing market for clean and wholesome that I think it wasn't as strong in the beginning of 2018. Like I think that this year it's really becoming more um, well known. I think this is my personal opinion on the whole thing, is that so many people who like to read clean and wholesome romance were not able to find it on Amazon because they had to go through so many books that did not fit that audience. And it wasn't what they were looking for. And so they gave up looking, and they just weren't shopping. They were looking in libraries maybe or getting recommendations from friends, but they weren't just hungry and showing up on Amazon just to browse for books. And because Amazon created this category, it's given them a safe place, so to speak, or like a concentrated place where they can go to and find the titles they're looking for. So I've seen that shift for us, and I think that it's going to continue to increase and grow throughout this year. And I've also seen that there are a lot of new authors that are doing really well in clean and wholesome, that it's not just the same names all the time that are at the top of the charts. I've seen so many people that are able to start writing in this category and do really well. So I think that there's just, as we talk about how we are looking forward to good things for 2019, and I'm going to say that I see great things coming ahead for all clean and wholesome authors as that category grows. And I think that the whole reading market is going to do good. I mean, what do you guys think? I think, that I've actually seen more people saying how well the book market is growing in general. And it seems like for years I kept saying, oh, it's down, and people aren't reading and they're not buying books, and, people are going to stop reading forever, and we'll all have to go back to work, like I don't know what people do, possibly. But we don't. It's going great. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, just today I saw an article. I didn't read it, but I saw the headline. RWA sent out an article saying how reading is up, both with ebooks and print books. So yeah, I definitely think that the market's growing, and I think that people are becoming more interested in reading.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Michelle, when you said the fact that people didn't know where to find books. I think that was the biggest thing. People only know what you are told, what's put in front of them. I didn't know anything about categories or how to find books on Amazon until I became a writer. And so for these people, they didn't know where to find them. And what I love about writing sweet and clean romance is that you cast such a wider net when you're looking. There are so many more readers that you can catch and bring into your brand when you write sweet. Just because people who write or who read sweet won't read spicy, but people who read spicy will read sweet. And so it's like now when Jennifer Nielsen talked about quadrants, you're covering more quadrants. You have more people to bring in to read your book. And one of the things that I learned most about doing Facebook ads and trying to go out and find readers. So before we would do like, okay, just put my book up and my readers and your readers will share our readers and we'll tell everybody about us. But there was really no going out into the marketplace and finding new readers. And at first I was scared about trying to market on Facebook because I was like, okay, my also bots are going to change. And they did, like that. Like all of a sudden I was getting steamy, bare chested guys in my also bots. And it made me nervous until I realized that they're there because spicy readers will also read sweet. And so it's beneficial for me to be on those people's also bots because people will pick me up, but not so much them to be on mine because people aren't going to buy them. And then over time, my also bots have morphed back into more sweet than they have spicy. But I think it just tells us not to be scared or not to say, well, this reader reads spicy, therefore they will never read my book. That's not true at all. You want to go out and you want to find all the readers who will tolerate all sorts of things to read your book. And as long as you're on point in your cover and your blurb, then they know what they're getting when they buy it. But people who watch R-rated movies are watching Hallmark movies. They don't have that definition like we do. And I think just trying to find more readers has been my goal. And if I can bring in a reader, then I can share that reader with everybody else who's clean and wholesome. So if we're all out there actively trying to bring people into our brand, then it's only going to be beneficial for everybody else around us, because now my newsletter is more powerful for you and your newsletter is more powerful for me. And we're not just sharing readers, because then there's a glass ceiling that we're never going to break, because we're all just feeding the same readers and not gathering more people into our brand. So I think the biggest change for clean and wholesome is to broaden who's reading it and bringing more people in. And I think if we continue to just stay in this bubble that we've created, then we're never going to be able to hit those higher numbers, because honestly, the potential we have compared to spicy is so much greater, I think. Because we can get youth and grandmas and moms and women with teenage. We're talking 12 to up. That's like our age range of people to read our books. So that's a whole lot of people. I want all those people to come in and read my book.
My 12-year-old does read my book, so yes. Yep. Okay, great. I think that it's really exciting to be able to have a year where you feel like poised to just go out and do really amazing things. And one of the things that we want you guys all to feel is that all of the things that are working for us are going to work for you if you implement the broader strategy of writing to market and having great covers and titles and blurbs and putting all the pieces in order, and then learning and experimenting to find the launch strategies that work for you, and building a newsletter and learning how to do Facebook ads. It seems overwhelming and there's a lot, but if you just start with the basic pieces and make the best product that you can, and then learn how to find your audience with it, then you can be successful. And there's a lot of brilliance in that, a lot of hope that we want to share with everybody. And there are a lot of people in our Facebook group that make more money than we do and who have been doing this longer than we have. So if any of you watching our podcast tonight are not in our Facebook group, it's something you should definitely consider joining, just because it would give you access to all these other industry professionals who teach us stuff all the time and are more than willing to share what they're learning with you. And then, in fact, a lot of people in our Facebook group are people that started with us in the very beginning and took off from starting to write to market, and they have built amazing careers. And some of them are lapping me completely and making way more money than I am. And they started, this last year, to really grow their business. So we just want. I feel like I'm always saying, but we like to preach the good word of indie publishing. So we hope that you guys just feel excited and energetic, and when people share the numbers and you see that they're being successful, just use it as something to kind of set your eyes on, and you can see that it's a goal that's reachable, and just aim everything that you've got focused on reaching a similar goal that makes you happy. It makes you feel like you've been successful in your way, and don't let any of it pull you down. Remember, we're not comparing ourselves to other people, except to just say, you know what, if they can do it, then I can do it too. So talking about our Facebook group, we have, as of tonight, with a few more people joining, we are officially at 4,700 members on our Facebook group that we started in February. Was that when we started, you guys? I mean, that's just crazy. Where are all these people coming from? Maybe we want to talk about our Facebook group and how awesome it's been. You all do.
I do.
Cool.
I do. I love our Facebook group, and I love it because everybody is so sharing and so willing to answer questions. And, the four of us, we try to answer as many questions as we can, but we can't be on there all the time. And so it's wonderful because there's so many people on there who are willing to impart of their knowledge and their experiences. And when people have a sale and they do really well, they share all of the information of how they marketed that and their numbers, and it's just been really awesome. And we try and keep it a very welcoming place and a very upbeat and positive place for everybody to join in and feel welcome.
I think that's one of the most, pat on the back kind of feeling we get when someone goes, I love this group because there's no drama. So we like to keep our group drama free, and we're there to learn how to become better at our careers. And we're not there to put other people down or to make anybody else feel bad. And I agree with Victorine. I love how everybody is so willing to answer questions, because I'll scroll through the page and I'll go, oh man, there's so many questions. But then I'll look, oh my gosh, this person's gotten 30 comments. So I think they're covered. They don't need to hear from me. Or, they've got 15, or people are giving advice and there's back and forth dialogue going on, or there's people connecting. Let's join a critique group together, or, beta read for me, though we don't really encourage that. There's people doing that. So it's just amazing the kind of networking people are doing in a Facebook group where everybody's welcome. We don't shy away from any genre or category or however you want to define yourself. We do require that you don't post stuff, writing stuff like, your whole first chapter. You're going to get flagged and that's going to get deleted, or any self-promotion. But people are really good at keeping our rules. And if they do mess up once, and they're very apologetic about not doing it again. So we're just really grateful that you guys decided that we had something to share and you want to be a part of it. And now it's just like, how are we getting 50 people a day asking to join? And where are these people coming from? So it's pretty crazy that it's grown as much as it has.
And I love that the culture that we established in the beginning is continuing on, even as it's growing bigger. And one of the things that we really want to point out and just emphasize really strongly is that it's called the Writing Gals because we're the Writing Gals, and that's our logo, that's our name. But it is not just for women on our group. We love to have male writers come and join us over there too. So I've seen a lot of them that are starting to be a little bit more active, and I love love to have that. But it's kind of a confusing thing that we see. Sometimes people think it's just for women, and we're not.
Yeah,
We
we
just
get a,
have, yeah,
I'm
we
like
just
we get a lot of people saying they want to join because I'm a gal and I like to write. I'm like, well, that's great.
or
Yeah.
I would, yeah, some places like for women writers, and we're like, no, we're not for women writers. I mean, we are for women writers,
Yeah.
but that's not the only purpose that we have. So, yeah, so I love our Facebook group also because um, we aren't the only ones willing to share numbers. Victorine talked about people sharing, specific numbers on how launches have gone, and I just think it's so generous of people, and I think that people love the ability to come in and see, real numbers that people have. And one of the things that's great is people also share when they fail at something. And I think that there's so much to be learned from what doesn't work from people and help other people to avoid the same pitfalls. So this is kind of just a big love fest and shout out to all the people that are making our Facebook group such, an incredible community and supporting everybody who's there. So thank you very much. And if you're not part of that, then come over and join us. And from time to time, we do some fun things that we as writing gals try and do to kind of motivate people, where we make goals for the day. And so every once in a while we'll do little contests just to have a little bit of fun.
Michelle started one where we post a GIF about whatever it is that we just wrote about every 1,000 words. And that's really fun because we're looking at it and we're like, what are you writing about?
I know, that's so fun. And there was a stage that I went to where I was trying to do only Princess Bride ones, like for a couple of weeks. That got interesting, but that was probably just for my own personal amusement there. And we're kind of preaching to the choir a little bit, but let's touch base on where we at with our YouTube channel too, because we're just kind of looking at how our year has grown. And we've got 919 subscribers. We are so close to hitting 1,000. So if any of you are watching tonight and you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd really like to get to 1,000 subscribers. So go ahead and click that subscribe button, and it'll let you know every time we have a new video come out. We try and do it every Thursday night, but like tonight, sometimes we just have scheduling conflicts, and we'd rather change than be missing somebody. So that'll alert you to let you know that we're on. So what do you guys feel about our podcast? Like, we've had some incredible guests on this year, and I think that we've had, if you go on and see, we have a lot of people watching the videos, and we hear feedback on it that they enjoy the podcast videos. So what were some of the highlights for you from our podcast this year?
I just liked it all. I think we had such great people on it. So it was a lot of fun to interview people that we had secretly stalked for a long time, and then being able to see them face to face, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, there were a couple times I was like interviewing like these authors that were like celebrities in my mind. I'm like, I don't know if I should be talking to you or interviewing you, but it was fun doing things like that. So
I love it when someone comes on our Facebook group and says that they've binge watched our show and that they've learned so much and they're taking notes and they're rewatching episodes and all this stuff. I just really love sharing information that helps people be successful at this, because I know this is a dream for a lot of people to be able to do what they love and make money doing it. And I just really love helping people follow their dreams and be able to be successful at this.
Well, and I think every single one of us has been touched by Victorine. And I think as much as we want to say it's all four of us, really Victorine's the one that paved the way and brought us all together and gave us as much knowledge as she had. And so I think none of us would be here if it wasn't for Victorine. So
Oh, you're so
pat
sweet.
yourself
You
on the
make me
back.
cry.
It's
So
true.
many people in the sweet romance that it's not every time. My
Yeah.
husband's always like, make sure you thank Victorine. Make sure you thank
Oh.
Victorine because she's the one that took a chance on you. So
So
we're
sweet.
all very grateful for you.
Yeah,
Thank
I've been
you.
watching Victorine for several years now, and she's just always reaching out, helping people and pulling them along behind her. So that's something that she's definitely pulled over to. She just has a bigger platform to do it with now, and she's
Yes.
got her minions helping her out. So
Well, I love you guys. This is awesome platform, and I love helping other people. So this is a great dream of mine coming true.
yeah, we're all having a good time doing it too. We have a good time on our podcast. As you can tell, we just have a lot of fun getting together and talking. And one of the things that I think is great about our podcast is that I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes they will touch on a topic and will kind of like be on the surface. And we like to really dig down deep into stuff where, that's where people really start to learn things. So our podcast is longer in length. Um, I've heard of people listening to it on double speed so that they can get through them faster. So I'm sure we're just talking like this all the time, but whatever. um, whatever you got to do. Watch it while you're washing dishes or folding laundry or walking your dog or something like that. But I think I love the fact that we dig so deep into topics so that it can be really helpful for everybody. So one of the things you can do for us is to let us know what you like and what you want more of, what you want to hear from us this year. And that's one of the other benefits of being on our Facebook group is that we always post every week what we're going to be talking about and ask for questions. So if you wonder where we get a lot of our questions on our podcast, it comes directly from our Facebook group. So we also get questions on our live feed, and I think that we have some tonight. So Judy, were you able to see questions on there?
Hey, Michelle, did we share all of our goals? I know Victorine did, but I wasn't sure if the rest of us shared our
I don't think
2019
me
goals.
and you
I don't
didn't.
think we did. I don't think so.
Victorine was like ahead of the pack.
I
She's
know.
like, I've got my list and I'm going to go through it.
She totally did, and then I was like, "Oh, I didn't ask her to do all this." So, she was supposed to do that. I was just a lame-o moderator. So, if we want to do goals before we do the YouTube questions, then we can definitely do that.
Sure. Oh, should I just? I'm
Go for
unmiked.
it.
Okay. My goals. I didn't write them down specifically, but I got them on my head. My goals are just write as many books as I can. This year, I published 5 last year. But I had one of them already written, so I'm hoping to, publish at least 4 this year, which at the current rate that I'm going will be pretty darn good. So I would love to publish more than that, of course, but at least 4, and I'll feel like I'm not failing. So and I would love to just keep my income growing and keep my husband home. I did bring him home last year as a stay-at-home dad because I was making enough to do that. So I'm hoping to help to keep that up and just have a good balance of life and not focus too much on things that don't matter and just be happy. Yay! Those are my goals.
I think those are great goals. Perfect. What have you got, Amy?
Well, I was actually planning my year out yesterday, so I wrote all my goals down. So one of my goals is to write my 5 book Brothers series, and then another goal is to write another 5 books in a prep school series. Host 3 ads courses, publish 10 sweetheart books. My goal is to double my income from last year, but we'll see. You might as well just shoot for the stars and see if it's possible. My other goal is get 10,000 newsletter subscribers. I really want to have a powerful newsletter. So creating a newsletter ad to draw in more readers and then automating them through the system so they actually want to stay. this one might be kind of big, but who knows? Might put it down, right? So my goal is to hit the USA Today bestselling list. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know. Kind of freaked out a little bit, and then write 2 more rules books. So I have a big year, but I'm excited that all the prep work I've done in 2018 will help me ride through 2019 and will make 2020 even better.
We all just sit back and watch Amy make these enormous goals, and we're like, yeah, she'll make it. Like,
I'm like, oh, maybe I should have added a couple more goals.
it's not so much a goal as like a prediction. So, for me, I want to be a 6-figure author next year, which is doubling my income, especially if I am over at the 50K mark right now, which I guess I'm $500 shy of that. So, basically double my income next year. I want to release in contemporary, young adult, Regency, and fantasy next year. Got books in the works in all of those categories. So my goal is to release in all 4 categories or genres and not let my income fall off while I'm doing it. And I want to finish my Rich and Famous series, and then I have 2 other contemporary series that I'm going to start writing in through the year, and have another good Christmas. But plan it out better so that I don't completely freak myself out, because I did release 3 Christmas stories successfully, but the last one was a little bit too late into the season, and so it didn't perform quite as well, and I got super stressed out and really burned out. So there was a toll that record month took on me, but I'm going to try and plan better for next year. And then I had one more. So like the crazy goal, like if I was going to make an Amy goal, but like on Michelle level, my goal for next one of them is to start a stock photo site specifically for clean and wholesome romance, and it will cover historical and all that other stuff too. But it's like I'm not an entrepreneur like at all, but I see such a need for this, and I would really like to make it happen. I'm going to go slow and make sure that I am doing everything right legally and find people that can help me make an awesome website. So it's going to take some time. So I may rush out and be like, where is it, Michelle? Because it's going to be a while. But that's my goal, is to get that off and running before the year's out. Am I just crazy? I'm crazy because I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm going to make it happen somehow. Okay, so that's our goals for the year. We'll check in January of 2020 and let you guys know whether or not we met our goals for the year. Okay, let's see what we have going on over YouTube. Judy.
Okay. So we have a question from Missy Ann, and she asks, Amy, do you release your books through your publishing house? And then do you have to pay yourself a royalty? That's her question.
So I use the logo for my books or my publishing house and on my books, and then I also do it on my website, but it's actually not published through Sweetheart Books. It's published through myself. So I keep all the money that comes in for my writing. And then the authors that I publish, they get published under Sweetheart Books. So that's how that works.
Cool. And then maybe that's all the actual questions. So
Yeah, I think we just had a lot of good comments on there tonight. So yes, Steve, we appreciate all the interaction you guys give us for our questions too. He says he appreciates interactions with the questions during the podcast. So we really appreciate everybody that likes to go on and talk to us while they're on there. It's always fun for us to see, and we like to have, know what you guys are thinking while we're over here just running our mouths.
yeah.
So, okay, before we get off of here, let's talk about what conferences and retreats we've got going on in 2019. Sadly, one of the conferences we were all looking forward to isn't going to pan out, but that means we can all focus on April. So, Victor, what have we got going on in April?
Oh, I'm super excited. It's the Nebraska Writers Guild Conference in April, and it is in Omaha, Nebraska. And all 4 of the writing gals are going to be there. It's actually going to be a 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Thursday is going to be our writing retreat. And let me get the dates so that I don't mess that up. It'll be Thursday, where's the dates? April 11th through Saturday, April 13th. And so we'll have the writers retreat on the 11th. And then on the 12th and 13th, we will have the conference, which is the classes and the keynote. Amy's going to do the keynote speech, and I'm super excited for that. And where all of us are going to be teaching classes, and it should be awesome. So in order to sign up for that, you have to go to the Nebraska Writers Guild website, which is nebraskawriters.org. And if you go to the website, on the sidebar, there's it says Spring Conference under Annual Events. And I'm going to put that up on the front page as well. I should do that tonight. So it's front and center so people can sign up for the Spring Conference. And it's going to be awesome. So come.
And space is limited. So if you want to go, you need to go sign up, because there will be probably a mad rush to claim the last registrations the last few months, right? So
Yes.
right now would be a great time to go in and get registered. And Amy is going to be teaching at Storymakers. So tell us what you got going on over there, Amy.
Well, I'm teaching a lot of classes at Storymakers, actually. So I'm teaching 2 intensive classes on Thursday, which I believe are added classes that you have to pay for. But both of them are going to be about Facebook ads. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to be teaching in them. So stay tuned for that. But it'll basically be, and honestly, 2 classes is not enough for how much I could tell people about Facebook ads. So since we had our interview with Charlie Holmberg, I have learned a lot more. So now I retract everything I said when I talked to her. And now you should come to my class, because what you will learn will amaze you. And then I'm teaching 2 classes during the actual conference. So one is about Facebook ads again. And then the other one is about tropes and how to use romance tropes into your writing. So I'm not sure when the dates are. It's in May. So go to the Storymakers website. Michelle looked like she's about to tell me.
Yeah, I know one of the dates is the 9th, right? Because that's my daughter's birthday. And I was like, oh, uh-oh. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this year anyway. But I think the other, Judy and Victorine, are both planning to be there. And Amy will be teaching. We'll see.
And
I don't know.
just got asked today. I haven't even told you guys. I just got asked today to help out with Thursday classes as well on AMS ads.
Oh.
So I will.
Well, there you go. So Victorine's
Good, because I didn't want to go alone. So I was like, if you guys aren't going to go, then I'm not going to go. So
I'll be there.
I think registration is opening anytime, like in January, right?
Really soon. Yeah, really soon.
Yeah, because I remember
someone said the 9th through the 11th.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew the 9th was one of the dates.
Missy Ann said she can die now. She heard you say her name, Judy.
Oh.
You should say everybody's name if you comment on here. Stephen McGuire, we see you.
Missy, we're all saying Missy.
Karen Evelyn, we see you too.
And of course, my bestie Mindy is on here.
And
Danielle
Kelsey Settling is killing it in YA. We see you. And Danielle Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
Victorine, we see you.
Me.
And another thing, Stephen McGuire, C. McGuire says, I can die now.
And then there's Deirdre Reardon Hall.
Oh, Karen says that registration opens January 23rd.
Awesome. Good information.
And then hopefully sometime this year, we're going to start a Patreon account. So we'll have lots of goodies to give out for that. And one of them will be us saying your name on our podcast. So if that's something you want to do, you should join our Patreon account. But we're talking like in the future. We've got tons of tax stuff we have to figure out. But
yeah,
that's in the works.
Okay, so I just want to talk about briefly, we're not exactly sure what the fall is going to look like for all of us yet. There's a cool conference that we're thinking about going to because we want to go. But I think it would be kind of fun to possibly do another Writing Gals retreat at some point, and I've actually been scoping out some locations. So I don't know what's going to happen, if it'll be this year or next year, but we would like to get just a limited, you know, registration available kind of retreat. Probably no more than 20 people, maybe 16, because the 4 of us are going to claim the first 4. But we're going to do that sometime in the next year to year and a half. So we'll see. I don't know. Just one of those things. So keep your eyes.
The big goal is Victory.
We want to do a Writing Gals cruise, right?
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
Don't go anywhere. You have to listen to us. This is our goal.
We just think of big things to do all the time.
You got to set those goals, because how are you going to attain them if you don't ever write them down and have them? So
Definitely.
So cruise, retreats, conferences, as many opportunities as we can come up with as an excuse to get together, basically. That's what we're doing. But we're so happy you guys were here with us tonight, and we've had a blast just talking about what's happened and what's to come, and we hope that you will show up next week, because I don't know what we're going to talk about yet.
We are going to do a podcast, maybe not this next week, but about author taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Tax season is starting.
Everybody goes, well, it's like not one of those exciting topics, but something that we all desperately need to talk about, for sure. It's one of the things that, there's just no way of getting around it. So
now that we declared to the IRS what we made last year.
Yeah.
Now we got to pay taxes on that.
And I would, just starting the disclaimers already. We're not going to be giving like legally binding advice on anything, because that is not what we do. We're not. Don't take anything that we say as legal advice, but we're going to talk about some things that you should know about and prepare about, and how to find people to help you, and some of the things you'll be responsible for, all that kind of stuff. And we'll have somebody who actually knows what they're talking about to come on and help us do it. So we'll be announcing topics as we go forward, and we hope that you'll join us. So thanks for staying up late with us, everybody.
Subscribe,
like, share.